Hey everyone, Clint here from Oak and Iron Outdoors. It is late March. It is time to get these tree stands prepped for this upcoming fall. I thought I'd give a little review on this guy here. This is a Craftsman electric saw, and I got this for Christmas, and this is my first time using it today. I also got the Hooyman extendable saw, and I got that for Christmas as well. These are new products to me. I also have the good old-fashioned Corona saw with me that I use for a lot of my brush clearing. And you know, these are lightweight, super easy to carry, and allows me to kind of get back into some of these back spots here to get brush cleared out. Now, I have my tree stand just behind me. This was a new property that essentially I got permission to hunt, bow hunt last year. So why don't you follow along as I prep this area out and utilize both of these pieces of equipment for the upcoming bow hunting season. All right, here's a little bit bigger tree. It's basically about the size or the width of the blade, as you can tell right here. So we're gonna see how that cuts it down. Well, I have to admit, so far I've actually been liking the saw. It does recommend that you put your oil on your chain like you would a normal saw, and then it does come up with this battery. It is called a Max V 2.0, and it's a small little battery, not very big at all, as you can tell. Very lightweight, and so far I've probably cut down probably about 5 or 6 trees already, looking at maybe 5 or 6 inches in diameter, which I think it's perfect for. I don't know if I'd handle anything or go after anything real big with it. But right now I'm just trying to see how much I can get off of this particular battery pack. It's kind of the goal today. Some of those smaller twigs, like the size of your finger, it actually kind of tends to vibrate a little bit back on you. I think just using maybe that handsaw for cutting those would be perfect. I might get a second battery to carry along, so to have it along, depending upon how much cutting I plan on doing. But so far I'm actually liking it. I just like that light, compact ability to take this anywhere in the woods with you for trimming these trees out, especially for prepping for bow hunting. All right, so let's go cut some more trees with this and see how it does. One thing to be aware of, and I don't know how waterproof these are, but you know, I'm in the swamp right now, as you can tell, and there's water in here, and not a lot, but you know, I think you want to be careful on where you set this. You wouldn't want to just set it down anywhere and just lay it in water. But so far so good. It's been cutting very well. It's just too big of a tree. All right, folks, I think that's where the limit's at. This tree's probably about 8 to 9 inches in diameter, and just if I took the guard off, I'm sure I could do it, but just to stay within the warranty and safety measures, I'm going to keep the guard on. But we're looking at about 8-9 inches here, so probably from here to the tip of my hand, and just seems to be a little too big. Well, folks, I had one more tree to do, of course, and it was a small little tree, so I can take it down with a handsaw, but it just died. And then I let it sit for a bit, probably 5 minutes, and it did have a little power to go again, and then it died. One thing I have to admit, though, is it gave, for the most part, full power until it basically went to the end, and then when it ended, it just quickly ended, and I was kind of afraid that it broke. But, you know, the small little battery on here, ain't gonna get you too far probably. I got about a half hour's worth of cutting, which I think is actually fairly good. So I have a lane that I just did right now out into the swamp that I cut completely. So for the most part, I think it did what it was supposed to battery wise. I can't expect a lot, you know, for this size battery. You know, as you can tell, It's not the biggest battery. So definitely gonna have to get another one. I may even get 2 more, see if they come in 2 packs, and add that to the Craftsman saw here. But so far, so good. I really like it. The only thing I think I would say, out of the box, I did not sharpen the blade on here, and that's probably one thing that you might want to do. It felt like it should have been maybe a little sharper. So I'm going to take this home later and sharpen this blade up and see how that works for the next time. But for the most part, this little saw has been a sweet little machine back here and getting the work done. Take down this last tree, and then I'll break out the Hooyman and see how that Hooyman works. All right, folks, so this is what I brought the Hooyman for. So I got some stuff that is up there that I want to clean out. Right there is the stand. And then if you look off to the side here, right along this big cedar tree on the side, I actually cut a shooting lane right down there. I'm going to trim that out with the Hooyman. All right, folks, so this is the Hooyman right here, and this guy just pops off. And then that saw is separate from the extender part. Place this on top, and let's go cut some branches. So pros and cons of the Hooyman. 2 3-inch diameter max, I think, is where this guy lies as far as this bread and butter. Once you got over 3 inches diameter, it didn't seem to do as well. You really had to torque on it. The other thing is, if you noticed, I bent that blade already, and I only used it for 10 minutes. I noticed right away this blade seemed to be kind of flimsy. Wasn't a big fan of that, so I'm going to see if I can't replace this blade. And maybe if there's an aftermarket blade that makes a thicker blade would be awesome for it. If it fits in here, I'm not sure, but I'll check that out. But other than that, it did its job. I liked the length that it extended. Extended quite a long ways. I didn't even look to see how long it extends, but that was really nice. And you know, it did what it was supposed to do and basically clear out those really top branches. The only thing I was a little disappointed about was the flimsiness of that blade. As far as cutting goes, it seemed to cut fine. I wouldn't say it was super sharp, wasn't dull, but for the most part, it did what it was supposed to do. But I'm gonna see what else is out there for other blades. Well, folks, it may not look like much, but here's a couple of hours worth of basically trimming trees. I opened up this spot, maybe a little too much in a way, but it brushes up big time right there. Here's my mock scrape. If you look off into the distance over there, that's the tree stand. And then once again, I trimmed out on the back side of the tree stand. They like to go that way, and then they like to come through here, hit this guy, and then they like to follow this little ridge, if you want to call it that, more like a side hill than anything. And they follow that to the back, and that tree stand can catch them on both directions. So all set and good for the most part. I do want to move that tree stand up just a little higher and then turn it, but I'll do that when I come back in July to reset trail cameras back here. For the most part, we are all ready to rock on this particular stand right here for the upcoming bow hunting season. By the way, between the chainsaw, the Craftsman chainsaw, the Hooyman, you still can never go wrong with the good old-fashioned handsaw like this. And this Corona saw, introduced to me by a buddy a little while ago, I still think it's one of the best saws out there. They're not real popular that you see out there, but if you look up the Corona saw, if you're just looking for a hand saw to just go back and do some of the spring cleaning work, that's perfect. One stand down and quite a few more to go. Until next time, Clint from Oak and Iron Outdoors.